Hello everybody, this is Phazeon Phoenix playing Rimworld 1.0 release. It has finally come, and here we are. I want to explain first. This is actually going to be the episode 0 of this new series that I'm going to start here. So there won't be any actual gameplay, but I'm just going to be talking a lot. But there is one thing I want to say first. I just did not fully expect that my colony would get wiped over like it did. And that just kind of ruined my plans. I'd hoped to be able to ride that colony through the release and just keep going, playing vanilla for another couple months or so. Until that finally did die in, I was planning on playing a modded scenario next. Given that the release was coming out, I knew that it would take a little while for some mods to update, and it has. But I've found a combination that works out pretty well here, and this is what we'll be using. So I've grouped them in 3 basic groups. There's user interface additions and slight tweaks here and there that don't necessarily change balance. There's also I then go into ones that do change balance, and I'll explain why I'm using them. And then some of the ones that are just kind of extra things for various reasons. And we'll go into those one by one. So that's basically it for those who don't care about the rest of this. Or you can skip ahead a little bit, actually, and I'll show you the world generation. But for now, we'll explain this. Hugslib kind of has to be in there for a lot of the other ones. No default shelf storage. This is a slight tweak that when you build storages, they start holding weapons automatically. And this just makes it so that they hold nothing. Not quite sure. This is basically kind of an alphabetical order, so that was first. Complex jobs. I mentioned this mod last time in one of the last episodes, and this kind of splits up all of the hidden job types, because the categories that we had before were kind of general categories. Like construction also included repairing, and delivery also included refueling and stuff like that. So this properly gives you a column for a lot of those subtypes rather than just saying construction. So this gives you a lot more control over what your pawns are going to be doing, and this will subsequently will fix the problem where they weren't refueling my generators. So that can fix that now. Visible pans. This is kind of dumb, but I find the fact that they don't show the pants a little distressing. So this changes the graphics ever so slightly so that they've got pants now. Other than that, it's not really much. Animal logic kind of fills in some of the missing things about animals that I always kind of annoyed that were missing. Like you couldn't assign. Maybe they've added this recently. You can't assign a bed to a pet. It doesn't work that way. Just a whole bunch of little things related to pets, and we'll go into them later. Something again rather arbitrary, the limitation of the number of areas you can have. This removes it. Blueprints, because I tend to build rooms that are basically the same size, especially, but this just lets you save and create and save blueprints, so I'll be using this. This camera plus tweaks the camera so I can zoom in other things and out. This displays both Fahrenheit and Celsius, obviously. This is borderline balance changing. Prepare carefully allows me to much more generate my people, so I can be very specific with the traits and stuff. You can create overpowering starts if you want to do it that way. But the main reason I end up using this is because I want a useful starting animal. So that's usually what I'll limit it to. It's like, okay, I found the ones I want. Let's go in and give me a dog or something, you know, something useful. This gives me the ability to follow a person, lock onto a person with the camera, basically. Haul to stack. Annoyingly won't combine stacks, so this kind of changes the hauling logic a little bit so that they start doing that better. This one I'm testing out with interaction bubbles, so when they talk to people, you'll be able to see the text. I may get annoyed at this and turn it off. I don't know. Just a normie passing. This is another annoying little thing that if, say, a person is working on a wall, the last open space on a wall, and somebody decides, oh, I gotta go through there. Well, what happened was that person stopped and then would look for another job and go do something else. Well, this just says, no, you just keep working, thank you. So, medical tab gives me a new interface tab to show me an overview of all the health of all my people. More trade ships. I find that the default number of ships that come along just a little bit lacking, so this, you know, ups it up a little bit more. Quality builder is allows you to set a lower limit. For instance, like you want just normal beds, you could set that limit, and if they make anything else, they'll automatically deconstruct it and build it again. Really nice. Research trees here, I'm not quite sure I need this because I'm not adding that much, but with the way that some of the mods do research, it gets really messed up in the research tree screen. This kind of helps to fix it. There's another one that does this, but this is the one that I like. I'll show it what's inside. Smart speed. This gives me, first of all, the 4th level of speed that is only in debug mode, and also unlocks the forcing you into slow every time. In other words, you can't go back up to faster if you're in a fight condition or something, even if you really want to. TD Enhancement Pack. This is a group, a selection of user interface tweaks and stuff. There's a lot of them, and it's a bit too much to go into here. This tweak I can turn on hats, or turn on so you can see the hair under the hats and stuff. So that's kind of neat. That's why I like that one. Trading spot. This will let you designate where you want your visiting trader caravans to stand around, so that they're not in the middle of anywhere. Allow tool. This is like the best thing here. It's just the way that the sorting ended up with this. Allow tool is like one of the best user interface changes, and this does still work with the version, even though it hasn't updated officially yet. So I'm going to use it. It shows a Swiss Army knife looking thing for a reason, and that's what it's for. Architect icons. This is just a visual tweak that for some reason I just like to put in there. Better workbench management. Part of this mod was included into the vanilla. There is still more that's unique for it. Cleaning area. This allows me to designate a separate area that will be cleaned rather than relying on the home area. So thus the home area becomes refueling and repairing and few other things too. But specifically cleaning I can define as a specific zone, and I usually do. Deconstruct conduit, so that there's a special deconstruction button now that only does conduit, so it doesn't delete the walls and stuff behind it. Cooks can refuel so that they don't have to wait on somebody to bring in. This might have been added in, I'm not sure, but here it does still come in. Damage indicator, just a visual tweak. Silent doors, an audio tweak. And here's shoe. This, you know, gets rid of the wildlife that might have come into your place. So this will get rid of them. And you got me. This is one that kind of changes how long these social fights will be. It kind of shortens them rather significantly. Now we're getting into the balancing, changing things. Efficient utilities. These things here take a percentage less. I don't remember the exact values, but it's considerable less power than it used to. Simply soil. This is one of the smaller soil, ground soiling sort of mods that there are. There's a lot of them that add all sorts of things that I just simply don't want to bother with right now. I just want the ability to make nice fertile soil if I don't have to spawn near any. And that's what this adds. It doesn't add anything more powered than just the vanilla the soil. So I just like to be able to build that if I need it. Fishing. This is to be able to help me out in the beginning as a separate food source if I happen to come across the waterways like that. And I think I'm going to try this time. We're getting into the, like I said, these are the ones that change balance. This is another one that's actually very balance changing. The pawns are capable, meaning that they're no longer incapable of, say, fighting. They just really hate it. And if you force a pawn to do, my cat's meowing at me, if you force a pawn to do a hated work type, their mood will tank really quickly. And so that means you can force them to do things in a very emergency situation where before you couldn't. But that's, I do think that's rather important. Colony Manager, this is one that I put into the balance changing thing because this kind of allows me to automate some of the mundane tasks of the game, and it does so in a way that's like set it and forget it. So some people could see that as being what it's kind of cheaty, but I do like it. It does help. I also added hospitality in here. This did update, thank goodness. I like this mod because it actually gives me something to do with my guests, so I have the opportunity of entertaining people. And it's actually a fairly good source of money if you do it right, because they'll buy things. The other thing, a dog said, this allows for various animal bionic parts and prosthetics. It goes with what's down here in a minute. Doormats. This kind of helps keep things clean. This is a good mod. Ra's Bionics and Surgery Extension. This is a alternative mod to EPOE, the Extended Prosthetics and Organs Engineering mod. That one is a little overpowered with the high-end things you can make, and this one tries to balance it out a little better. They're not the bionic super soldiers you end up being able to create with this mod are not invincible. So that's good. I'm going to try this out over the other one. The fuse. This takes care of that darn zzz event, and if you've got one of these, it'll use a fuse or trip the circuit breaker, and you have to fix that. But it doesn't burn, it doesn't explode, or any of that. So it just eliminates that problem. This could have gone down on the bottom, but this just adds more alternative ship chunks, and it does kind of change the balance because it's more variety than what the other one did. It's not just graphical changes, it does change some of the things you get for it. Rim Fridge, this one's kind of, you kind of have a if or take with this. It allows you to create a single or up to a 2x2 square refrigerator, just bang, and you just hook it up. I use it in certain situations because I kind of find it a bit of harassing to be have the hospital and then this thick-walled little fridge off to the side of it. Just looked ugly to me. Unless I put it separate, I guess I could have done that. I'll use this in like where the dining room is and stuff like that. I mean, it's for quick, easy access of various foods. And that's what it's for. It's kind of how I overcome the other limitation that's in the game I didn't mention last time, is the fact that a pawn will only look a certain radius for food. Otherwise, it'll if it has food, it'll only look for a certain radius for where to sit. It won't go and walk a distance to find something to eat. So this is how I deal with that. I just put it really right there, and then somebody hauls it and stocks it. Days matter. This is under the balance changing because what this does is allows you to set certain dates as something to be celebrated. So in addition to birthdays, you'll get wedding anniversaries. You get the day the colony was founded automatically. And you can set various dates for celebrations, and they may throw parties, and that does boost mood. So more opportunities for better feelings, I guess. Anyway, fences and floors. This is mostly for I kind of like to build fences around my farms. That's basically what it's there. Garden medicine. This is a rather recent discovery I've made from the. It's a standalone from the vegetable garden guys that allows you to grow and produce produce nitroamine for one thing, to be able to make all the rest of the medicine and stuff, as well as some other things. So I'm hoping that this one will be good. This is the first time I've used it. Growable grass. This is just what it sounds like. It's so that I have something inside of my fence to feed my cattle, because they can't eat growing hay grass until it's reached that first change of animation of size, and that doesn't happen for a couple days. And then when they eat it, it then takes another couple of days to come back. So it's not a very good thing. This grows faster. It's not very dense though. So if you got one or two, you can plant this down and it works out pretty good. It's also great for like chickens and stuff. Now we're into the added things. That was the last balance changing thing. Being able to make all the medication and stuff is rather game changing. Okay, so now we're into additional stuff. Growing grass, the additional animals project, and the ADS patch for it. This adds a ton of different animals. They're basically all, you know, they're all kind of the same. They're just different looking now. And that's what those are there for. This hasn't updated yet, but I do know that this is fine. This just adds adds variety. It's not really doing much other than that. More furniture, kind of the same. There's nothing really new here that's a problem. Painting. I wanted to do something joy related that's artistic, you know. Roof support. This is the central pillar thing that I mentioned, where you can have a large open square area that's wider than 12 by 12 or 11 by 11, and this will hold up the center roof, but not take the space. It's actually kind of nice. Storage solutions, some other storage things. More importantly, it adds a nesting box. That's really good. It was kind of fixed in vanilla, where they'll search for a resting place that's in the home area now. But this specifically is kind of neat, because you know, if you're doing chickens in particular, you want them to lay somewhere else than they might sleep. I don't know. It's just kind of a thing. This is a combined mod of all the different hairstyle mods. So again, this is just variety, so it does work fine. Primarily there's spoons, hair mod, there's rim hair, Rimsonal hair pack, you know, there's all of the major ones are in there, so you're going to see a lot of ones. Rim writer, this is so I can write books. There was another mod, additional joy objects, but it also adds some other things that I wasn't particularly interested in. So that's basically all the mods that I was going to use here. I've got others that I may add along the way as they update, but that's where I'm leaving it for now. So let's go ahead and start a new colony. We'll use the crash landing one again. And, oh, kitty cat. Let's see. I'm going to use this one on medium, maybe. Let's see. The higher difficulty, she'll hit as tough as anybody. They changed the names here a couple of times now, and now it's because, well, I guess it's still, I think they still kept this Randy Random on rough. Not quite the worst one was something else at one point. We'll do Phoebe on rough. Merciless mode, what is this? Special game mode where the challenge is turned up to extreme levels. It is recommended once you play high quality for 2. No, okay, never mind. No, I am doing this for a video series, and reload anytime mode is a little more supportable for that than the commitment mode. It's good to play that every once in a while, but alright, let's generate the world. Intestines, burglar, roulette, delta, bell pepper. Bell pepper, okay. I don't need to generate a big world. That just, I mean, ultimately that just means that that ship that you can go find and get yourself out of the planet is going to be further away. If you're going to take that route. Okay. So I think because of the way I've kind of stacked myself here, I'm gonna start somewhere maybe a little tougher. Maybe a place where I can't grow all year round again. Alright, so I would like to have some water. What over here? Sorry, I've got a throat. I need large hills on a river. Can I find somewhere near... What this? Oh, mountainous. Alright, let's just hit this a couple of times. No, no, no. The thing is, if I start in a flat like this, you have basically nothing to mine. I'm just simply not going to be able to find anything near a river and near a road. That's just like not going to happen unless it's flat. Wait, what's this? Boreal forest, oh boy. I'm not quite that much. No, thank you. Temperate forest, small hills, mountainous. Oh, like I said, it's just not going to be what I want. No. I don't want to quite go that far north. Or if that's north, I think that's north. Mountainous, small hills, large hills. Well, I think this is going to be granite, limestone, and sandstone. That's fine. 30 days out of the year. Forge abilities all the time. Okay, what have I got for factions? I didn't get any of the faction control ones in there. They are have not updated yet. But I've got one who's kind of hostile. He could turn around. Alright, we'll go with this. Now let's see. You know what? You're not half bad. What are you? Hated work types of dumb labor. Hates dumb labor. What was dumb labor? I think that's... Well, that's kind of one thing. It doesn't really tell you now. He likes, can do construction, but is that dumb labor? I don't think so. I think dumb labor means he doesn't like to haul. He's artistic, he's social, he's somewhat intellectual, he can plant, very important. He can even cook in a pinch. Yeah, you know what, I like Matavi. I might change his name. Oh dear. Yeah, animal ears. Mathematician. Oh. 50-year-old mathematician woman. And scrap if she needs to. Oh, so these are related actually. It's good and bad at the same time. And this one's related too, however... These are all related? Well, that's an interesting attempt here. What have we got? You know what? That's actually kind of neat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use prepare carefully. Simply because, 2 reasons. I want to re-roll the faces on a couple people without re-rolling the rest. Let's see, who should we make him look like? They're all kind of pale. That the Cloud Strife look? Not quite. They're all kind of pale, so they all gotta look like that. I don't know if that's taking. She's fine. I'm not so keen on the cat ears. What's the age on this one? 55. Can I do just the name? Yeah, I can change them all. Jason Combat Game Dev. No. No combat. I like the last name they had before. About as much customization as I'd ever done before. Nana's fine. And this one. Ellie? Autumn. Wait, this is relationships. Sisters? Cousins? Yeah. I don't quite know how to read that anymore. Anyway. I think this is fine. They look a little different now. And equipment, as I said. Whoa! Start with a male giraffe? No, I don't think so. Animals. Like I said, there's a lot of animals here. Acid ant? Alpaca wouldn't be bad. I'm hoping I can find something for wool, that's for sure. Boomalo, capybara, cassowary, chinchilla, domestic goose. Oh yeah. Female dromedary, ferrets. Yeah, I gotta make ferrets. I gotta. Oh, I don't think I can do that. Female husky. Just kind of want something a little useful here. Not a muffalo, that'd be a bit too much. Silky chicken, spirit wolf, no. Tiger, woolly horse, Yorkshire terrier. Now we're getting into males. Really doesn't matter, male or female. Munchkin cat, oh gosh. That is so cute. I'll do a golden lab. Yeah. Okay. So that looks pretty good. I've never really done a whole family like this before. This might be interesting. Are you sure you're finished? Yep. Alright, let's go on. Moving on here, moving on. The three of you awake in your cryptosleep sarcophagi, yada yada yada. Yep, same story. We've seen it before. Alright. I guess I'll do a quick overview of some of the quick additions that are here. Because that's probably not going to be more interesting. This is the work of Allow Tool. All these different expanded options here under orders. I'll just, the important ones I'll show you later. Here's where you do blueprints. Production, there's easels now. The manager's desk. Oh, fishing spaces. Okay. All the very basic stuff. Nothing new here. There's furniture and then there's furniture plus. So in furniture, what's new here? The nesting box is new, but not a big deal. Also, all these various storage places are new from a different mod, but heavy duty shelving, dresser, shelf, it's all just different looking stuff. So for a little variety, that's what I'm mainly going for here. Furniture Plus has a little more. This must be an overlap now. Yeah. Oh well. Dresser. It has end tables with lamps on the top. That's also nice. And attachable sectional couches. So those can be neat. Make unique count and also counters and a tiny table. Power, nothing new there. Oops, security, nothing new there. The trading spot, it's there. Fences has its own thing, and right now all I've got is wooden fences. Floors, unfortunately the floors mod hasn't been updated, and but I think I can add that without any problems later. Temperature. Oh, and here's the fridges. So for 20 steel and 1 component, you get 1 space refrigerated quite well, especially if it's indoors. Whereas for 90 steel and 3 components, it can be, I think a single unit could probably do a 5x5 interior size, but it would struggle. So it's definitely not exactly cheap. It's not exactly a deal, but the convenience factor of it is rather important. So I just let that on pause a little bit. Let's see what else. As I said, work expanded a lot. I'll go over that a little more next time. This is the manager interface. I don't use this in the beginning, but when we get set in, this will become nice and useful. The new medical tab. See, this was why I added this. There's the new doctor. He can self-tend. And this is looking an overview of everybody's statistics. And oh, here we go. Here's all the medical setups. Restriction really didn't change anything. Days matter. This is where it'll tell you what things you want to celebration for this. So I could set. Well, I'll leave that for next time. Sign hasn't changed. Animals didn't change. Wildlife is there. Research has changed. This is research tree. It uses a different algorithm and a different drawing thing, obviously, to link the required researches one to another. The way the mods tend to be is they just kind of glob all over the default one, and it doesn't work very well. This one also allows you to kind of extend queue research as well, so it's also a very good thing. So that's basically it. So, well, I guess this is it for now. Where would my people go? I wandered off. There we go. That's it for now. So this was, again, episode 0 of this series, and we'll just cut out here. And so stay tuned, everybody, and talk to you later. Goodbye. Bye-bye.